Each Sunday night, I'd watch the practice with none of my friends. I'd turn the dial to ABC to see the creep of the week that Bobby Donald defends. But I'm out of practice.
With your hosts, Keith Marney.
And Dr. Not Really Dr. Michael Andeglio.
Way back in high school, most every night, my mom watched QVC, so I missed the practice. There was no TiVo, what could I do? Wait 15 years, get fat, then stream it on Hulu. Out of practice.
This is either going to be a hilarious triumph or a disaster we won't even release.
Mike, why are you in front of a green screen? Why are you wearing a doctor's jacket? All to be revealed.
And welcome to the Out of Practice podcast, a weekly podcast in which we discuss David E. Kelley's award-winning series, The Practice. This week we are up to not The Practice because we have another crossover episode. Today we are going to discuss Season 1, Episode 17 of Gideon's Crossing, entitled Flashpoint, where we will continue the story that didn't happen last week with Eleanor's baby. Oh my goodness, and we have a very exciting / bad episode for you.
Exciting.
Very excited about it.
Pure
What's
definition
going on,
of
Mike?
exciting. Yes, exciting. As I think all of our listeners will know. Well, first of all, speaking of listeners, Keith, I want to. It's funny because I looked back at the analytics again, and we're about the actual bulk of the people who listen to the podcast are about 2 seasons behind. So
Great.
we're attempting this like real time,
Topical
time capsule sort of situation. It's really completely moot. But so for not for nothing. Secondly, we have, as our users know, what the hell does that mean? That's my day job logging into my brain. As our listeners will know, we've been on a hunt for the actual episode that we're going to be dealing with today. In fact, in trolling one site in pursuit of this episode, I came across a friend of the show, Richard Templeton, who was also on this website, Templeman, excuse me, writing on somebody's YouTube page, desperately looking for this episode for us, which brought me brought me such joy.
Oh my God.
And also the fact that it was 2 weeks ahead of me in my investigation, really was really joyful. However, we all failed. And so we've decided, rather than just skip it, that would be too normal. Rather than skip
would
the
be
episode,
the reasonable thing to do.
we decided we would cobble together, we'll talk about it for 15 minutes. We'll sort of take a half week off, and then, we'll proceed next week. And then but then instead of that, Keith, of all people, contacted me.
Completely out of character.
Completely. And decided, I'll let you take it from here, buddy.
Yeah, well, this episode is going to be brought to you by a lot of incredible people who have helped us dearly for this, including our good friend and founding sponsor, Jorge Novoa, who worked also, same with Richard, worked incredibly hard to try to find this for us.
And I'm sure others of you.
Oh, yes. But what he did was he found a detailed description of this episode. You should say, I don't think we officially said, Gideon's Crossing is not available for streaming literally anywhere. So it does not exist in any form that we were able to find. But he found a detailed description of the episode on TV Worth Watching or something, one of those sites where they talk about shows that got canceled.
We will link
and
and
it was written,
provide accreditation. What's the word I'm
yes,
looking for?
yeah. The woman who wrote this, it's hilarious and great, and we're going to adapt it a little bit. Is Deanna McFadden? So thank you to Jorge and Deanna McFadden for what nonsense is about to happen. But speaking of nonsense, we have another surprise. See, this episode is a surprise to Mike, the fact that we are going to do one, but we have a surprise for you, and that is we are not alone here to dramatize this episode for you. We are being joined by a very special guest.
It's going
your
well.
boss.
Going well.
I give up. I can't speak. It's too early in the morning. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. But I am proud to introduce your boss, my boss, all of our bosses. Welcome to the Out of Practice Podcast, CEO Jen. Woo! How is it? Wait, hold on. You deserve real applause for arriving. Here it is. CEO Jen. Oh my God. This has got to be a real moment. Your first full appearance on the Out of Practice Podcast. CEO Jen, you are here probably against your will. So
I kept trying to get her out of it.
Going?
I tried to get her out of it. Just not for her sake, because I didn't want to draw up the degree, try to get the technical.
I'll say it now on behalf of my wife, my CEO, Jillian, who the thought of being on this podcast gives her hives. Just the mere thought of it.
Oh my God,
ironically, not because she doesn't like the podcast, but because it is a very different skill than performing in the theater.
Oh yes, a skill that I do not possess myself either.
Lies. You have been on the show before.
I know, but look, I even have my own CEO, Jennifer Indeglio, at the bottom of the box.
True. Yeah,
In fact,
I feel very fancy.
Some would say that the most viewed episode on YouTube, which isn't saying much to be honest, if I'm being quite frank with you, is the
Not many would say
the season 4 Oopsie Spectacular, where Jen made her first on-camera appearance, and
that's true.
It's no coincidence, I'm sure.
Okay, so we have an episode to do, so we're gonna get to Flashpoint, but first we have a lot of important things to do, starting with
Filings and subpoenas. Filings and subpoenas.
Oh, good. Jen knows the choreography.
Filings and subpoenas. Filings and subpoenas.
Yeah, we have to do the oopsies only so that we can see if she's been paying attention to the choreo we've been teaching.
That's true. The choreo is very important. Yeah, this will be your audition. All right, so we heard from our good friend Phoenix. We heard from him a lot, so here we go. First off, we mentioned last episode that perhaps Phoenix should be our fact checker, to which he responded, "You couldn't pay me enough to be your fact checker, but telling Keith when he's wrong is something I do for free." And I thought, like, is it possible that Phoenix is, instead of your mom, is one of my family members? Because good Lord, you should see us around the dinner table fact checking each other. We're like hyenas.
Hyenas, very well known for their fact checking.
Oh yeah, no, they will not let it. Down to the decimal point. Speaking of decimal point, he says Keith's spare tire rating of 8.501 would have been even worse because it would have averaged out to 8.505. That's way too many insignificant digits. Even just using hundredth, you guys should probably just stick to making the last number even, so it doesn't average into the thousandths. To which I say, Phoenix, get ready, because my next oopsie is definitely going to go to like the 100,000th because you said that.
It's that
challenge
teamwork that really heartens me.
It really is. Phoenix tells me what I'm doing is stupid, so I double down and stupiderize it because that's what I do. He also, one of his fact checks is that I was talking about gold being relatively worthless as a metal, and he pointed out, well, that's not true anymore because of its use in electronics. In everybody's cell phone and computer, there's a fair amount of gold that's highly conductive, and he is 100% right. But I was mainly talking about all of human history where we ascribed a value to gold before we realized it had one. But yes, fair point. He also said, appropriate to this episode, He's a big fan of Andre Braugher. He first stood out to me in City of Angels. I also really liked Men of a Certain Age. It also had Scott Bakula, Ray Romano, and Lisa Gay Hamilton. Pretty surprising that it only got 22 episodes. Yeah, kind of like Gideon's Crossing. Finally, he was great in one of my absolute favorite shows where he played House's therapist for multiple episodes, which was great in that. And Mike, if you want to see him play a Vulcan, then take Keith's advice and watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I didn't think it was my kind of comedy either, but the actors' characters make it worth watching. As for a recommendation to myself, I've never actually seen the show he's supposedly best known for, Homicide: Life on the Street. Any opinions? I have not seen it either, Phoenix, but I think that's good advice to yourself.
Thanks, Phoenix.
So, yeah. So, awesome. Good to hear. It is now time to hop back into the time machine once again. And we're going to watch a different show because, Sunday night, we had such a good time on the practice. Let's see what happened on Monday night. Are we so jazzed from the weird, abrupt Eleanor scene at the end of the crossover? And we really want to find out what's happening. And a little segment we call
This Day in the Basement.
I finally found the bumper. So I am going to do something unprecedented this week because I already talked about what was going on This Day in the Basement. So I'm going to defer my This Day in the Basement and hand it off like a gift. Let me figure out which angle I am here to our good friend and CEO, Jen. Why don't you tell us what you were doing on March 12th, the year 2001?
Now, Jen, I know that you expressed some trepidation earlier, so I'm going to allow you the little bit of grace period to jump back a week to the 7th, which would have been your 21st birthday.
Oh.
What were you doing on your 21st birthday?
So magnanimous of you.
Well, I was texting you guys earlier. I'm always amazed at your guys' ability to remember everything from 20 years ago.
And
we're frequently lying.
We're lying.
Of course. I should have known. But
both had that queued up.
So I was a junior in college at NYU, and I think that was around, it was spring break. Oh, that's right. It was spring break, but I was doing a show, one of our black box theater shows.
What show?
And it was a show called Barbary Keep. And it was about a brothel, in Europe.
That makes perfect sense. Every college black box show is just an excuse for everybody be naked. That's what a college black box show is.
Totally. And our director of the program at the time, he wrote it. I guess he wrote the script. I can't remember who wrote the music, but a friend of his, and then he directed it. But it was fun because it was my first time my character was murdered in the show. So it was a big murder mystery type show, who done it. And I got to get carried off, they carried my body off. I had to pretend not to breathe for a little while. So it was fun.
On stage murder. Death. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It was sad though, and my character was a teenager working at the brothel. It was tragic.
Well, did you go out after rehearsal and get hammered? And what? It was your 21st birthday.
I don't think I did. I know. I really don't think we did because, I don't know, especially in college, we're all worried about our voices and stuff. I think it was pretty lame.
Jen was a responsible college kid. She was. You were probably like me and super responsible. And then when we turn our age, we get less so.
Definitely. Yes. Half my life ago, I was a lot more responsible, but I'm doing dry January right now. So, and
are you
it's
really?
Going well. Yeah.
Oh I'm so proud and astonished. Good for you. I've tried dry morning so far. That's pretty good. So, Mike, what was the first time you were killed on stage? Mike.
I don't know that. Oh, Titanic.
Oh,
I drowned.
Okay.
I drowned.
That was your first death scene? Wow.
I believe so. Yeah. That was the first time I died on stage.
I did my first was in drama camp in like 1996.
No. That's when your
whatever.
dignity died.
Oh, I don't think I ever had any. I think I came out of the womb neurotic and sad. I was doing a children's theater production of The Sleeping Beauty. And I played the bad guy, and we ended with like a big sword fight, which like I sort of I choreographed it. We fought over the audience, like swords over the kids' heads, because there's no adult supervision. We were like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's just swing these big swords over kids' heads. And but my favorite part about that story was my best friend at the theater there. He overslept for Sleeping Beauty, and nobody noticed. So we were at places and realized that Jake wasn't there. And so I ran to our dorm and threw him out of bed 3 minutes before, or at that point, 10 minutes after curtain, because he overslept for Sleeping Beauty.
That's amazing.
Okay, guys, it is time for...
It's time for the Out of Practice Podcast's This Day in the World. The greatest hits, the biggest movies, headlines from Vermont, essential sports updates, and for some inexplicable reason, the weather from 20 years ago. Now back to Keith and Mike. And Jen.
Well, folks, we are talking again about March 12th, the year 2001, and the number one hit continued, of course, because we're only a day later to be Stutter by Joe. The top movie continued to be The Mexican. And the cover of the Burlington Free Press, of course, talks about Vermont sugar makers' drive to produce lead-free syrup.
Oh, well, it's a pursuit. It's a pursuit.
Yeah, we're striving not to have lead in your syrup, because, of course, March is sugaring season in Vermont. We've talked about it before. But I understand why, because the original taps that they would stick in the tree were lead. So, and they were old and expensive to replace, so they had to deal with that. I think we might have had some of them ourselves. Okay, thank you so much, Stutter by Joe. Which means it's time for...
It's time for Sports Ball.
This week on the cover of Sports Illustrated is Mario Lemieux. NHL legend Mario Lemieux played a Hall of Fame career for the Pittsburgh Penguins from 1984 to 1996, including back-to-back championships in 1991 and 92, before retiring after 12 seasons due to numerous injuries and a battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma. I have more thoughts here. He was immediately put into the Hall of Fame, waiving the usual 3-year waiting period. But in 2000, while he was back on the cover, with his former team having declared bankruptcy, he made the remarkable decision to purchase the Pittsburgh Penguins and return to the ice after a 4-year absence. He scored 35 goals in only 43 games in his return season and would officially finish his career in 2006. So there you go. So it wasn't like a back in time true crime. It was just like sports that Keith finds interesting.
That is interesting. I think we should take a moment, Keith,
in
the sports ball section quickly,
to
give you the opportunity to apologize to Tom Brady, who at his advanced age is still doing better than either of our teams in all the footballing.
Apology, I think, is probably not the right term for what I have to say here. I will give him an acknowledge-y. I will acknowledge the fact that he continues to play and has not lost it for his team yet. But there's always next week. I don't see him doing that well in Green Bay.
But we will take the opportunity to recognize that this is, I'm relatively confident in saying, the last year, Keith, that you and I will be younger than any starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Most likely.
Well, I think he's got one more year in him.
All right, well, then we got next year, I guess.
Yeah, I think we got next year. No, it is a very sobering moment. If you're of a certain age, the first time your sports heroes are younger than you.
Quite a bit younger.
This by now, but I remember the first time I realized that Eli Manning was younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit. And now we've gotten to the point where there's no players in the league younger than me. It's not even just like my specific hero is younger than me. It's like literally everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I'm very, very grateful to Tom Brady and Zdeno Chara for continuing to be old and me not being older than everyone I'm watching on television.
Do you think we should take just a moment to roll our loudest bumper to just pad for time a little bit?
Sure. If there's anything that we need more, it's padding for time.
So Jen and I finished Perry Mason, which I spoke about last week. But we've bifurcated a little bit, and Jen has been watching The Crown, which I figured since we won't ever touch on that, I'd let her speak to it slightly.
Oh, yeah. Jen, tell us about The Crown.
It's so good. I'm only on season 2, but Claire, I think her name is Claire Foy, who plays Queen Elizabeth. She's amazing. It kind of reminds me of Downton Abbey, how you're so engrossed in it, and every time I try to tell Mike what's going on, doesn't seem like that much is going on, but when you're watching it, it feels like it's so dramatic, and everybody's good. It's beautifully shot. John Lithgow as Winston Churchill is amazing. Yeah, I love it. I'm into it.
We also watched an incredible documentary that's name is escaping me right now, but I'm going to pop it up on the screen. It's about this young Jewish lawyer who was in his 20s when he was asked to basically head up the litigation for the Nazi war crimes tribunal. And
the Nuremberg trials.
The Nuremberg trials, and then how his career continued from there, and he just kind of took on a lifelong pursuit of bringing these people to justice, and how justice doesn't have to equal vengeance, and how by approaching it with a cool head and showing that there is accountability, even though they can't possibly capture all of these people, is important. And not only is it a fascinating documentary and just an incredible tribute to just not just public service, but service to humankind and humanity, but also strikingly apropos for today. As we spoke last week, and this will be the last Out of Practice podcast in the current administration. We will have a new president the next time we all meet. Look, we have to... I agree. This is a time for unity and a time for healing, but that doesn't come without acknowledgement and accountability. And so this is a documentary that speaks to that slightly, and I will post links in the show notes. And then finally, I'd like to point out, a week or two ago, we mentioned, Keith, just the existence of the documentary. I even put it in the show notes of Baby God, about this case of this fertility doctor who was found to have fathered hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of children. And I highly recommend this doc. It is not at all what you think it is. It's an exploration it's a lot of things, but what I found most interesting is it's an exploration as how we tend to want to paint everything black and white with a broad brush. And by just pointing out this plot, it sounds like this man is an absolute monster. But is he? Or was he a fertility doctor who was just mixing his sperm with these other men's weak sperm to try to help them achieve what they were looking for? And he has his own children who describe him and his entire life as just a wonderful, kind man. He was never found guilty of any wrongdoing and continued this practice until his late 70s when he passed away and was never sanctioned in any way. It is fascinating.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Wow.
You come away with a lot of questions. You come away, it's not particularly satisfying.
He came away a fair amount.
Yes, he did. And, and then it asks a couple questions of these hundreds of biological children who say to themselves, well, if I say my biological father is a monster, what does that say about me? And it's pretty fascinating. So those were a couple of the things, and I started watching the Tiger Woods documentary on HBO last night, which is also interesting so far. Keith, anything?
Okay. No.
Ah!
No, it's fine.
All right, should we do this thing?
I feel padded enough.
Yeah.
I feel you're just nervous about getting started. All right, folks.
I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
It's time to talk about the damn episode.
Okay, folks, this episode of Gideon's Crossing is season 1, episode 17. Now, if we touched on it a little bit before, but Gideon's Crossing was a medical drama, sort of a ER rip-off that they tried to put out this year. It was not created by David E. Kelley.
Oh.
It was created by Paul Attanasio, who is also credited as the writer of this episode, although IMDb has not fleshed out this show at all. In fact, there is no credited director on IMDb for this show. So there's not a heck of a lot of information. But I'll tell you this, the show starred Andre Braugher, Ruben Blades, Rona Mitra, who interestingly will appear on The Practice, Hamish Linklater, Ravi Kapoor, Russell Hornsby, and Harvey J. Alperin. So an interesting little thing here, because you have a lot of folks, they don't get the bumper because they weren't technically on The Practice, but we will see a lot of Practice people, or you would if you could see this show, which you can't. Okay, well, with no other credits, there's only one more important question.
What is that supposed to mean?
What's your problem?
Is this what happens to women when you insert your penis?
What?
What?
What does Mike think's gonna happen?
You know, what if he would have drank the curdled milk? Then what would have happened?
All right. Here's okay. This should be a big swing. But I'm gonna just but seeing how things have been going, it's not as big a swing. So all signs have been leading to this, right? Eleanor has been on every show ever written. This baby has been in trouble. She's needed all kinds of doctors to help her give this baby. And my big, bold prediction is that at the end of the episode where Eleanor has the baby, she doesn't have the baby. Either there's a miscarriage or something. No, they wouldn't do something that huge on another show. So my big swing is that at the end of all of this, Eleanor's fine, and it's as if you didn't need the episode in any way, shape, or form. Just like this episode of the Out of Practice podcast.
The big swing is they put a whole lot of effort into nonsense and it doesn't even serve a purpose.
That's the big swing.
That feels about right. Well, so previously on, you will remember from last episode the 30-second last tag after Eleanor had a scare and went and met with Dr. Gideon for 10 minutes and she was fine, and that was the crossover. She did collapse at the end of this episode, at the end of the previous episode of The Practice. So we are going to be borrowing from Deanna McFadden's description of Gideon's Crossing. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, here we go. I will be playing Jimmy. Mike will be playing Dr. Gideon. And Jen will be playing Eleanor. So, fade in. Ambulance bay, slow motion, horrible new age keyboard music plays. That's already too loud. I didn't turn that down. Oh, shut up, hospital. All right, hold on. New age keyboardy music. A new age keyboard music plays. You can hear a heartbeat in the background. Thump, thump. Eleanor, baby, it's you front, is breathing heavily as she's being carried in on a gurney. Jimmy, the lump, Berluti, is telling her to relax. Relax, Eleanor. You don't want to have an infant baby in the hallway. As the ambulance attendant rolls her through the halls of the hospital, Eleanor cries,
Jimmy, I can't lose the baby!
She is reassured by Jimmy. Eleanor, it's gonna be okay. We're not on our show. Nothing important can really happen. And we're in the best hospital in Boston. And they're gonna take good care of you here because it's also a network show. We just need to find your doctor. Ambulance guy asks, who's the doctor? What doctor is it? Mike, ambulance guy.
What doctor should we take her to see? What room?
I don't know. Is it Dr. Gideon or Dr. Snibian? Wait, it's something related to the Bible.
It's Gideon.
Gideon. How do you know that?
Excuse me. Yeah. Is he an old friend or something?
Yeah, always.
I need Dr. Gideon. Dr. Gideon, he's Eleanor's old friend. And this time he didn't murder anybody. Okay, Ollie, who I'm assuming is a different character from the show we've seen before, starts walking beside the gurney and introduces herself as Dr. Klein and asks the lump if he is said the Bambino's father. Ollie.
This is a woman. Is Ollie a girl, you think?
Yeah, Jen, I think you got to do Ollie.
Oh.
Dr. Klein.
Are you the Bambino's father?
Look, I just need Dr. Bible. Okay? Where is he? I'm freaking out. Ollie tells Jimmy to calm down.
Calm down, Jimmy, calm down. Deep breaths.
Look, I'm so tired. I've done all the crossovers with Eleanor, and she gets to lie down on the bed, and I'm walking on my foot shoes.
All right.
Jeez. The entire crew is now walking down an incredibly long corridor to the emergency. Oh, hold on. I need to turn on my, I haven't turned, I'm too busy narrating. I haven't even changed my background to the corridor.
Well, that's good because I didn't know until just this moment that we were actually reading off some sort of a piece of paper. I was just wondering how you guys were so in tune with one another.
We didn't give Mike the script as it is.
Oh, we all have different backgrounds. All right,
there it is. No, it's great. Corridor. Come on, Jen. This is a very important operation here.
Oh, God. All right. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Okay, the entire crew is now walking down an incredibly long corridor to the emergency room. Jimmy shouts, "Not you, him. Now, I need Dr. Bible. Give him to me." The emergency has turned Jimmy into a grunting, shouting Neanderthal man. Jimmy, doctor. Eleanor. The doctor, who looks like Lenny Kravitz, climbs onto the hokey pokey line, traveling down the hallway, and asks if there's a problem.
Is there a problem today? Yeah. Am I going to play all the ethnic people? Because I feel like this is not good.
I think that might be happening. Look, I want Dr. Gideon. Now. He will, or I will find him my damn self.
You can poke around all over in the lab now.
Mike found the file.
Of course, you could also be finding Dr. Gideon. He's teaching over in the medical school. Or, he could be with a patient any one of those 5 floors in this very large hospital.
I don't know things. I'm a Neanderthal. Finally, after 10 freaking minutes, they actually reach the exam room. Dr. Boyes, non-Lenny, non-Kravitz, throws some more attitude Jimmy's way. Hey, I can't believe you walk so much, you tub. Don't call me that. That can carry him around his journey to locate Gideon and says in response to Jimmy asking him who he is, I'm the doctor that's actually here. As with any medical case, the one not having the trouble feels the need to state the obvious. She's having a baby, an infant baby. You don't know how long she wanted to, because you need to know how long she wanted to.
Now, you see, that was necessary information for the doctors. Not. You see, why the heck aren't the ambulance attendees screaming stuff about Eleanor's, stats and explaining what the hell happened to her after this ridiculous exchange? Anyway, Aaron, Are You Gonna Go My Way Boys, I guess that's the Lenny Kravitz doctor, leans into a pale, drawn Eleanor's face and introduces himself.
I need you to be pale, Jen.
Oh.
Can you tell me what's wrong?
Eleanor responds,
I fell.
but then Jimmy jumps in.
She collapsed. She fell down onto the floor ground. Where's Helen? Wasn't Helen in the apartment when Eleanor left? Why am I here? I've done all of these crossovers. I'm exhausted. What the hell? ABC cannot afford to have Helen. What am I, cheap? The nurse tells Dr. Boys that the patient is 37 years old and that her temperature is 100.7. She's 37 years old and has a temperature of 100.7.
Tell me, is my baby all right?
Well, we're gonna have to find out now.
Beep, beep, beep. Wait, I got it. There we go. Machines are beeping, and I think we've just gotten out of the teaser. Wait, here
Credits roll. I assume.
It's coming. It's coming. There it is. Guys, this is going really well so far.
Just like we planned it.
Oscar worthy.
Oh, it's very chill, the theme.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I should probably give Mike the copy of this that I have where I cut out all the extraneous nonsense.
Very easy listening.
Ooh, oh. Look at
Kenny
that drum
G
fill,
beats
though.
the Rocky IV soundtrack.
Yeah, really serious stuff. This is really serious.
Now, since it's not available
Backup
for
singers,
streaming,
too.
do you think they're going to strike us for having this theme song roll? I'm going to say no.
I think if somebody is keeping track of the Gideon's Crossing theme song for copyrights, then we have misread this whole situation. Oh, all right. Where am I? Oh, okay. So, all right. So we did that, but everything, we got all sorts of music, and it's exciting, and then it's not. Eleanor is fine. She's explaining to Dr. Klein and Boyce that she was on her way to the bathroom. The next thing she knew, she was on the floor. Eleanor?
Yeah, I had to pee. I pee a lot. I'm 8 months pregnant. And next thing I know, I'm on the floor. I don't know what happened.
Then we've got a picture of Eleanor's baby, who I would have seen. Whoever wrote this basically did our podcast asking if it was actually Cameron's real baby. I imagine it possibly could be. We had that discussion with Lindsay's baby as well. Jimmy stares at the picture. He also, look, what a beautiful baby. Eleanor mumbles a very faint greeting. Oh, wait, Gideon shows up. Gideon shows up. I thought it was Jimmy.
So,
Dr.
Eleanor,
Gideon, thank you so much.
all right.
Tell me, is the baby all right?
Well, first, let me get a little bit of information. It looks to me as if you, let me read the chart here. You fell down?
Yes.
No, incorrect. You correct me and tell me that you actually collapsed. It wasn't a fall.
No, Jimmy does. Jimmy.
She collapsed, fell on the ground.
Thank you, Grunt. Now, let me ask you, doctors, have you assessed whether this was a seizure or not?
No.
I don't know. I just want to make sure Eleanor's okay.
Okay.
No.
And you, sir, you're the father, the husband? Are you a relative?
I'm just sort of here because all the other cast members have better agents.
Okay, well, in that case, and I'm also hearing from one of my colleagues that you were kind of a dick to her when you found out she was pregnant in this fashion. So I'm going to have to go ahead and ask you to wait outside.
All right, I'm going to go to the judgment zone because I was judging her. It's like the gym.
Go in the judgment corner.
I'm going to assume that my name is Ben Gideon because I keep referring to a Ben, and I'm just assuming that's me. So I'm going to move closer.
Way to go, context clues, doctor.
Yeah, I'm going to move closer to you, Eleanor, and I want to know, why weren't you resting? You're pregnant. There was a bomb at your office. There's a lot of excitement. You should be resting.
We're very busy. A lot of cases. We don't rest at the office.
Okay,
we don't.
So then you fell out of bed?
That was a joke?
Well, no, I think that it was a gaffe on the show because you didn't fall out of bed. Oh, okay. Anyway, Dr. Humor is not so funny. So, Eleanor, what do you have to say in return?
I don't know why you're laughing, but I was on my way to the bathroom, like, hello, my bladder is the size of a shot glass.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna need some help here. Shut up. Go. By the way, one last question. Have you ever coached wrestling? Oh, it's just a crossover joke. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask my other OBGYNs. Wait, Eleanor, you're making a face. Are you not interested in that one doctor, Dr. Lekwowitz?
Yeah, I don't want Dr. Lefkowitz. Absolutely not. I only want Gideon. Dr. Ben Gideon. All the time.
That's good because
Ben leans right in over Eleanor and states,
"That's my name above the title. We're gonna have to make sure that your pre-eclampsia hasn't progressed to full-blown eclampsia. You know what I'm saying? If it has, bitch, you're gonna have to deliver that baby a little early."
Eleanor's not in the courtroom. She can't give birth. It's not sweet.
Let me assure you. In fact, you know what? Why don't you assure me?
Yeah. No. Dr. Gideon, I did not have a seizure. It was like a head rush type thing. You know when you get up too fast? Mm-hmm. It happened to my husband once. I found him.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait. Tell us more about that.
Eleanor.
Did you tell the story on the pod, Mike?
Here's the brief version. Once upon a time, Mike came back. He was jet lagged. He came back from China, and he was taking a pee, as one does. And I got that same head rush feeling. I was like, going down. Next thing I knew, my wife was slapping me in the face, trying to bring me back. And all I knew is that I was all of a sudden on the floor holding my penis. And I looked to Jen, and I asked 2 questions. I said, am I bleeding? And why's my dick out? And that's how I came to.
Wow, I didn't know you were going to be that detailed on the pod about that story. But yeah, no, I heard like a loud thump, and I was like, are you okay? And he didn't respond. I was like, sprinted in there, shaking him, slapping him, screaming, calling 911. And then he woke up.
All right, Eleanor.
Thank God. Anyway, sorry. Eleanor. Yeah, it's like that. It's
Eleanor,
like that
are you having any pain? Are you having any pain, Eleanor?
Yeah, my stomach. Right there.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Gideon pokes her. That seems rude.
Mm-hmm. I asked permission first. Okay, you've been poked. Now, Dr. Klein, what do you think?
Look, I want to wait for the results of the test. Look, her temperature is slightly elevated. And you know what I really find really dramatic on television is when things are slight.
Well, you know what? There's still enough cause for concern here. And since this is my show, my hospital, I want to admit you, Eleanor. I want to cross you over into my hospital. And let me tell you, you're in good hands because they don't call it Gideon's Crossing for nothing. What's it called? Gideon's
right.
Crossing for nothing. Yeah. You are in good hands. And do you have anything to ask me?
No.
Okay. I promise. I promise you this, Eleanor. I promise you. If there's any trouble, I'm going to save that baby.
Ooh, save that baby. Ooh, that feels like an out to commercial.
We better swell that music. Oh yeah.
Okay, we're back from commercial.
Hospital cafeteria.
Oh, the doctors. No, we're cutting that section. You have to see what Jorge bolded, man.
Oh, okay, we're bolding. My bad.
You got to read the bolds. Jorge cut out all the stuff we don't care about.
All of the doctors are in a large auditorium discussing Eleanor's case. Well, guys,
Eleanor's case. You
see that?
What an interesting case. Wow.
Why would she be coaching wrestling 8 months pregnant?
She has a uterus.
Wow. That doesn't make any sense. Now, it's interesting because
she has us stumped.
I could have sworn she had that baby last week, but it turns out that was her friend's baby. So we do have a case here to discuss.
It's very confusing. It's really tough to tell what baby is what baby.
Guys, I just can't figure out. It's mysterious. What might be causing that mysterious pain in her side?
I bet the abdominal pain is consistent with preeclampsia. You know the problem.
Yes. Yes. She does have a high white blood cell count.
I think it's an infection.
Yeah, but I want to know if there's bacteria in her urine.
Maybe there's an abscess. Ooh, Gideon is awfully quiet. Almost too quiet.
Preeclampsia and an infection. Not a happy marriage.
All right, enough with the baby, marriage, motherhood analogies, all right? I think we should deliver the baby.
But the baby's lungs aren't ready to be delivered. See, the baby needs to breathe oxygen. I'm a doctor. I know this. And if they doesn't have any lungs, that's going to be difficult.
Yes. But the baby needs to be on the steroids for 24 hours.
I think Eleanor should just cool it. And let's punt this to the next episode because nobody's watching.
You know what?
Nobody.
I agree. You know what? I have an idea. I'm having a light bulb. There's a light bulb here. Bing.
Oh, how exciting.
I just figured out the mystery music, please.
Oh, okay. All right.
Appendicitis.
Oh.
Of course.
Oh, appendicitis. Wait, there it is.
Wait, that is. I thought it was an exclamation point. It's not. Appendicitis?
Appendicitis!
For the win.
Appendicitis?
Sweet! Yeah, appendicitis!
Eleanor, you look confused. Now, I have to explain that your uterus has pushed up your appendix, and that's why the pain is in the upper right quadrant instead of the lower right quadrants. Dr. Lekowitz, can you add anything?
Wait. That's why nothing showed up on the scan. The baby blocked the organ. What a dick.
So, what do we do? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do we do?
Well, you know what? First,
Gideon.
I'm going to send you home with appendicitis. Wait, no, I sent you home prior.
First, yes.
Last episode.
Right.
You
Right.
sent her home and said
Gideon
everything was
is
fine. And
awfully
don't worry.
slow. So first he sends Eleanor home with appendicitis. Then once he figures out. I'm just gonna leave that there. Once he figures out that she has appendicitis, he doesn't quite know what to do. Interesting.
Well, usually when someone has appendicitis, they have it taken out, right?
Exactly.
Whoa.
That is exactly what we're going to do. If I leave that organ in there, Eleanor, and it bursts, that baby may potentially be in danger. You think? Not to mention, Eleanor's life could potentially be at risk as well, Eleanor.
Oh, wow. Thanks for explaining it to the audience because it sounded like it would be fine. You know, I think we should take the baby out.
No way. Dr. Lefkowitz, this is why I didn't want you. You with your crazy ideas. Absolutely not.
You know,
Dr. Gideon?
your body is breaking down. You got appendixes everywhere. The baby doesn't want to be in there. Why do you want to keep this thing? Oh, can't breathe. I forgot.
Everyone calm down. I'm Dr. Gideon, and this is my goddamn show. And what I have to say is that we have made serious inroads in treating premature babies, all right? A lot of babies born before 26 weeks, they do have serious health problems that follow them into adulthood. However, if they had another 24 hours, perhaps.
Ooh, just 24?
Just 24 hours.
That's it?
If we can let it bake for just another 24 hours, those lungs might develop just enough. And, well, that would be another story. However.
Oh, no.
However, this is a very serious situation. And, oh, no, hold on.
Yes.
I'm getting paged. Uh-oh. No, that's you, Dr. Lekowitz.
What?
You're going to have to get out of here.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, guys, everybody froze. It was like the hospital stopped for a second, but I think we're going to be fine. But I will tell you, this is a very serious situation, guys. It is like, it's a really big deal. Oh, shit, I'm getting paged because I finally came back to the Zoom. I got to go. Ben, Eleanor, you discuss what you're going to do because you're, the stars of the show.
Okay, well.
Oh, but
bye.
wait. But wait, now we're in surgery.
Oh, we were jumping?
Oh, wait.
Man, a lot has happened during that commercial break, apparently.
It's a big commercial break. Hold on. Where's the exciting one? Oh, this sounds exciting. Oh, we're in surgery. Eleanor's eyes are taped shut. Machines are beeping.
Oh.
The symphony of surgery is wailing. Oh, what's the symphony of surgery sound like?
Ooh. Sounds intense. Ooh.
The baby is up on the ultrasound.
The baby is up on the ultrasound.
The surgeon is explaining how the appendix is a useless organ. Who the fuck needs an appendix, okay? They should be taking that shit out the second these babies are born. You don't need your tonsils. You don't need your appendix. Oh, your gallbladder. Get that shit out of there, too.
You don't
Open
need
them
your
up like an
tail.
operation board and just ping, 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 ping. Get that shit out of there.
Oh, no. The appendix is already burst.
No
Yeah,
shit.
that can't be good.
I don't think that's good, guys.
Not good.
Ooh, you know what? You
Oh.
can't tell about that from looking at me because I'm stone cold, bitches. Cool as a cucumber. Do I have any other patients? Hell no! The doctors talk through this difficult situation. You know, guys. I think
Guys,
she
we have a
might be
difficult
bleeding out.
situation.
It's hard.
Yeah.
She's bleeding out.
So
Serious.
she's got an appendix and it burst, and that's not a good thing. Because we said that before the commercial, but in case somebody was out for some snacks, and we missed it. The
Yeah.
appendix bursting is not good.
Yeah, guys, listen. Generally, I would let them both die because, to be quite frank, the diner down the street stops serving breakfast at 3, and we don't have a lot of time. However,
No.
I made a promise. All right, I made a promise to save this
You
baby.
should make a promise.
And so I'm going to have to go ahead and find an alternative solution.
I think you should take the baby out.
Listen, we can't just do that. It's too much risk, all right?
Yeah, but the baby is inside her, and ideally we want the baby outside of her.
Okay, can we get a close-up on Cameron?
Gideon and Dr. Lefkowitz argue over Eleanor's wide open innards.
Oh, look at her innards. They're wide open. Gross.
Better than her outwards, am I right? High five.
Oh! That's mean.
The surgeon thinks she can finish what she started. Oddly, this woman has a British accent.
Take 2.
Beep, 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 beep.
That surgeon, she has a British accent.
That's not me. That's going to have to be Jen. That's the only,
Yes.
the only hope we have. Could she
I
have a
can-
Cockney accent?
Oh,
I can
yeah.
finish this. I can finish what I started.
Oh, oddly, you know what? It's so weird. There was a typo. It's actually a Jamaican accent.
Oh, shit.
Oh. Yeah, man.
You know what? That's where we're
I
going to
can-
end the
I can
accents. And the accent portion of the podcast has ended.
No, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't Jamaican. It was French. So sorry. Go ahead.
We can finish this. What I started.
Je suis pour l'épicerie. The symphony of serious surgical mishaps twinkles as Eleanor opens her eyes. She's very pale.
Oh, no.
She's very concerned.
Oh, what's happening?
Can you
She
feel?
goes,
Can you feel your baby?
Did you feel it? What?
Oh, what's happening?
Oh, wait.
Did I jump?
Where are we?
You totally
I
jumped.
sure did. I sure did.
It's so weird. Wait, let's go back to that nurse with the Hungarian accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I finished what I started.
She's a Muppet?
So let's take the camera over to Jimmy. Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy's speaking to the plucky receptionist.
Oh, you're so plucky. Look at you. Huh? You should be our receptionist. There has to be a plucky receptionist on every show on ABC.
Yes. What can I do for you, Mr. Beluti?
What's going on with Eleanor? I remember why I was here. Hey, tell me what's going on.
She's still in surgery, Mr. Beluti.
Yeah, but I'm just here. Why am I having the scene if nothing's changed?
Perhaps
what's happening
give
with
some,
it?
we should give some more recap for those who haven't been paying attention.
Yeah. What's going on again? Is the appendix a good thing or a bad thing?
You know what? I'm going to have to talk to Dr. Gideon about that and get back to you.
Hey, tell me now. She's with child pregnant. Tell me what's going on. How long is it going to take?
You know what?
1
I'm
hour,
sorry.
2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours? How many hours?
The receptionist informs Jimmy that Eleanor's still in surgery and that surgery is supposed to take a long time. How long? 2 hours? Who's to know? Ben Gideon, though, a warm glow erupts. They may have a moment. Before she bounces away, plucky receptionist tells Jimmy that she'll let him know if she hears any news. The lump continues
Thanks.
to pace.
I'm going to keep pacing.
Now, the symphony of
Now.
serious surgical mishaps twinkles as Eleanor opens her eyes. She's very pale.
Ah.
Then she's very confused.
I can't feel a baby.
Then she grabs the nurse's button as the piano does some strange, non-melodious plunking. She screams.
I can't feel the baby!
Dr. Klein, who just happens to be outside the door, comes running in. What's the matter, Eleanor? Well, she can't feel the baby, of course. Ollie knows the fetal monitor. It's just the anesthesia. It'll wear off in a couple of hours. Dr.
Gideon magically appears. Is he always around?
Yes, I am. I am because my name is above the title. Listen, I gotta tell you, the baby is just fine.
Again?
Oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm busying myself out of the room so I can leave you alone. I'm Dr. Klein. Bye.
Listen, Eleanor, I have to tell you, we can only give you antibiotics, but at a low dose because, you're pregnant.
Her eyes well up with tears. Jen, you better give us some real tears now.
Should we deliver her?
Not right now.
I thought you said after 24 hours on the steroids should be ready.
Well, the baby would be ready, but it turns out you, Eleanor, you would not be. To induce labor or to do a C-section at this point would possibly corrupt your system. Your body can't handle it.
I just want to feel her.
Dr. Klein is scribbling something on a medical chart when plucky receptionist strolls up. Hey, do you think I should bring him a blanket? They both look over at Jimmy. I heard the surgery was pretty tight. What? The plucky receptionist is Southern now.
I love the plucky receptionist. Pretty much touch and go all night.
So it's the next day, and everyone's still wide awake and attending to Eleanor. That's some good service. Mm-hmm. Then, without mentioning the blanket business or any further plucky receptionist strolls right by Jimmy. He's splayed out on the couch in the waiting area using his jacket as a makeshift pillow. Aww. Then we move back to Dr. Klein as she enters Eleanor's room stating that she wants to check on her before she goes home.
So quick time out here. This seems serious. Why is, I mean, when Rebecca got blowed up and Lindsay had her baby, everybody was there. Everybody was visiting and in the hospital room and stuff. And so all we get is Jimmy passed out on the sofa?
That is a very good point. I think that tells us a fair amount about who is liked more in the office, because either ABC couldn't pay for everyone or they all just don't care about Eleanor.
You think this is like clearly life and death.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting choice, once again, if we were to stay in the kind of metaverse, that they chose Jimmy to be the one to be by her side because of, like, once again, I point out that in the beginning when this pregnancy was introduced, Jimmy was the one who had the moral obligation or moral objection.
He was, but also the two of them have been a tag team all season because they also did the Boston Public crossover. And they were doing other cases together. So you know what it is? I figured it out. Because while Rebecca was in the hospital with everybody, Jimmy and Eleanor were off doing cases. So they're like, fuck you. Right. You didn't come to Rebecca's side. You did cases. So we'll do cases when you're there. So I don't know. This is a big problem. We've got some drama.
It looks like Jimmy and Eleanor are now going to have a moment in the hospital room. So I'll turn it over to you two.
Oh, okay.
They actually let you sleep?
Yeah, every third night. Eleanor?
Well, yes. Well, Dr. Gideon is a very good friend of mine. We're old friends, and I really want to know what really happened during surgery.
I don't think he's holding anything back from you, Eleanor. That's really not his style. Mm-hmm. His style is really just showing no feelings.
I'm giving you the stink eye on that one, Dr. Klein.
Ooh, good stink eye. See, the baby's heart rate, it went down, okay? And then it went back up. Mm-hmm. So it's all good. Yeah. Well, I'm going to see if you're draining properly. So... Of course, I'm going to lean over your very pregnant belly. And as mine is also very pregnant, I'm guessing from context clues, we're going to bump pregos here for a second. And
that's the scientific term.
How hilarious. Let's wax philosophical about the power. You know, I feel like a woman's reproductive abilities are very powerful, and we can see that from the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to insert
miracle.
that the person who was writing up this summary, what was her name again, Keith?
Oh, I got to scroll up. All right, hold on. I got
Jennifer something?
It was Deanna McFadden.
Well, Deanna definitely has some editorializing because this sentence is my damn favorite. It says, they touch pregos, which was Keith's term. They wax they wax philosophical for a minute about the power of a woman's reproductive abilities. And I take this minute to pull out a book of poetry I've been reading up on my feminine side. Yawn. They share a moment about single parenthood.
She's hilarious.
Ollie thinks,
I like it.
I think you're being brave, Eleanor. Oh,
Thank
where's
you.
the father? I wish I had somebody. Do you wish you had somebody?
Not at all. Not at all. I won that case. It's all me.
Oh, should we pan and see Jimmy sweating outside and possibly think he should be stepping in?
Yeah. You know what? Strong women seem to scare guys off. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's the message from the late 90s.
Blah, 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 blah. More platitudes, blah. The touching of the stomach, blah, 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 blah. And then Eleanor has a seizure.
Oh, God!
Oh,
She's seizing.
A full-blown shaking to the bottom of your boots, eyes rolling back in your head seizure. Dr. Klein does some, doctoring. Tells Jimmy to get the hell out of the room, and then leans in to say,
of the room. Stay with us, Eleanor. Blah! Cut to.
Dr. Klein and Gideon are walking and talking.
I'm talking. I'm walking. Ooh, look at me walk.
Walk.
Mike,
Ollie
you got to do the
seizures.
shoulders. We're walking.
Oh, the seizures might suggest that Eleanor's preeclampsia has progressed into full-blown eclampsia.
But I want to know what we do now.
I think we can manage the seizures with medication.
But that is a battle we can't win.
Did you repeat the blood work?
Her enzyme levels are high, and her platelets are dangerously low.
That doesn't sound like a good thing. Doctor stuff.
It's all the shit I was afraid of, even though I showed no emotional attachment to it whatsoever. As a result of her condition, the blood vessels are going to start to spasm, and when they do, they chow down on the platelets.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a good thing. I'm
Hold on, wait.
TV.
A nurse is handing me something anonymous and ominous,
what does
and I
it
have to
say?
sign it. Okay, I've signed
should
it.
we deliver the baby?
Well, not exactly. You see, Eleanor's system can't handle labor or surgery or, any of the things that would make this show, lack any sort of drama. And so we don't want her to bleed out. Of course, generally I would let her bleed out, but I've made a promise.
I wonder how she got so bad. I wonder if it was our terrible doctoring.
Well, it's very common in medicine. One thing goes wrong and then, a lot of things go wrong.
Like, we should have delivered the baby yesterday. The lungs were ready. The baby would have been premature, but that would have been okay. It just would have been less dramatic. Let's pause outside of your office.
And I hit my mark, and okay. I thought I could have my cake and eat it too. Clearly.
Yeah, but why would you take that risk? Huh?
Well,
why would you take that risk, Gideon?
I wasn't focused on the medical problem at hand, okay? This is my friend on the gurney.
Your friend on the gurney?
Yeah, and she was desperate for a baby. Desperate. She would have been a great mother.
That's incredibly irrelevant.
Oh, sorry for me, symphony plays.
Listen.
Let's hear the monologue, Gideon.
I made a promise. I made a promise to a friend of mine. A friend who had to stand in a court of law and promise that she would be a great mother, to prove that she didn't need a man to help her. And God or science reached down and decided that she would have a problem. And there was only one person who could fix this problem, and it is me, Dr. Ben Gideon, of the show Gideon's Crossing. And sure, Eleanor would have made a great mother, and sure, I would have been a great star of a television show for more than one season. But sometimes the network and that big network in the sky have different plans. I wound up being less than a friend.
Hey, let's just
Beautiful.
quietly share a moral moment.
Ah!
Eleanor is still pale. Jen, let's see pale. Let's see pale. The two, Doctor, I think you should get some rest.
No, I need to work.
Eleanor has been ignoring
Very
this
busy.
woman for 2 full episodes now. Now it's time for Dr. Gideon, myself, and Eleanor to argue over the semantics of me keeping my promise. You know,
Is
I'm
it
not
who
sure.
or whom?
I'm not sure that I can actually keep the promise that I set out to keep, and it wasn't right. I took an oath. I took an oath to keep you medically safe, but not to actually make promises I can't keep. Oh, you've shushed me.
No, the other way around. You shush her.
Shh.
Oh.
I'm reading you the riot act. You shouldn't be making you shouldn't be making promises in medicine. What's wrong with you? I'm hearing
Oh, no. I'm having a seizure again.
No,
Oh,
her
God,
eyes.
not a seizure again.
Her eyes roll right back into her head. Doctors, increase the oxygen. Oh my God, Dr. Lekwovitz, can you believe that I've made such a promise to this patient?
You really shouldn't make a promise because it's it's bad because medicine. I've seen Grey's Anatomy. If you make promises to patients, they're definitely gonna die.
Oh, but I've made that promise all right, and I do not want to see Eleanor's face when she wakes up and I've failed her.
Oh no, I can't believe. What if she doesn't wake up at all, Ben?
Now, there is
Gideon?
something that's not going to happen. Of course, Eleanor's not going to die on another show. She's needed back on the set of The Practice next week, and for a much better episode of the Out of Practice podcast, that I can promise you. We all know that this little medical situation is bound to be tied up by then, but we still need a conclusion.
Okay, cut to Eleanor's resting comfortably again.
Wait,
for
before that, we should probably
Hmm.
roll the closing time bumper because I feel like we're headed there.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me find it.
It's closing time. Time to put your case to bed. It's closing time. Otherwise, your client's dead. Closing time.
Eleanor is resting comfortably. Ben is sitting directly on top of her, trying to smush the baby out.
A little close,
Jimmy
Ben.
holds his
close.
vigil at Eleanor's bedside. I'm holding a vigil.
I'm there as Dr. Gideon, and I have to... Dr. Klein, I order you to get a complete set of bloods.
Eleanor wakes up.
Oh,
Welcome back, Eleanor.
thank you.
You're
Good to be
smiling?
back.
Wow.
Just glad everything's okay.
So far, everything is just
Jimmy!
fine.
Jimmy, you look as bad as I feel, buddy.
I'm relieved you're okay.
Wait a second. Ladies and gentlemen,
What?
the blood pressure's coming down.
I think it was the heparin.
But you know what? I don't think it was the drug. I think it was me, Ben Gideon, medical magician, and my merry band of plain old dumb luck. See? I told you everything was going to be just fine.
You shouldn't make a promise. Eleanor is resting peacefully in bed when Ben comes in with the results of her blood work.
All counts are normal. And you know what?
Oh.
I think it's time for you to get the motherfuck out of here. I don't want to see you until you're in labor, young lady. And I think we should share a moment.
Oh, look at that moment.
Thank you. Thank you, old friend.
Mhm.
Yeah. What do you think the baby should be
What would
called?
Stan.
Stan?
Ben. I'm going to name... Oh, no, it's a girl, right?
You can call her
Benny.
Ben. You know, Benny. Benny's nice. Yeah, I
Benny.
like that.
Benny's
Yeah,
nice.
we can
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
that. What about, and you know what? I think you're going to make a great single parent. The trials and
Oh.
tribulations and total unconditional pigeonholing of all parenthood. I will never shut up and I will never surrender, but I will send you home right now.
And scene. Bye-bye, Gideon's crossover. That was what it was, folks. So, okay, well, you have gotten through whatever that was. And this is, I think this was the universe's punishment for losing that episode of television somewhere in the world. So,
yeah, but
guys,
let's look at the positives. I was very right. She did not have that baby, and nothing of consequence happened.
Nothing at all of consequence happened. We learned nothing.
Granted, we were reading a description of a show written by someone else that we didn't see with no actual context, but it does sound to me like Gideon's Crossing didn't make it because it's on the boring side.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. I mean, there's so many medical dramas out there just doing medical drama-y thing that unless you have more compelling cases or more compelling characters, then you're just sort of like doing the rote medical drama thing. And it's because like House, it wasn't really about the medicine, it was about the character. Or, you know, on Grey's Anatomy or whatever, you have a mixture of sort of the soapiness of it with like ridiculous over-the-top cases. And at least this particular episode was like kind of a normal case, and none of the characters did anything particularly interesting. And like we can talk about it in the oopsies. So guys, it is now time for everyone's favorite segment. Jen, be prepared for the choreography. It's time for
Mike has 30 seconds to remember what just happened on the show.
Oh, Christ, y'all. I got no idea. It was a lot of platitudes, and somebody wrote something funny, and then we destroyed all of the humor in it. And then Ben and Eleanor were friends, and so he probably misdiagnosed or at least mistreated her in a little bit, or didn't do things as quickly as he should have. But in the end, guess what? She's fine. The baby's going to be fine. Everything's fine. Let's get back to the practice next week, y'all.
All right. So we are going to hand out some awards because we do it at the end of every show, whether or not there's a show at all. Here we go, kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Out of Practice podcast, in unofficial, unsolicited, unfactual association with David E. Kelly Productions, proudly present
Oopsie.
The Oopsies! Celebrating excellence in acting good, lawyering good, guesting good, and being Tom Brady. Not to mention, this is where we rate the episode and stuff. Now, here are your hosts, Keith and Mike.
What the hell are the oopsies?
Well, Jackie, they're a fake award show that today is going to begin with
Most Valuable Doctor.
Most Valuable Doctor.
Doctor.
Okay,
Yes.
guys.
Ladies
Does anybody
first, I guess.
remember any of the
Ladies
doctors?
first.
Yeah, Jen, let's hear it. Who do you got?
I mean, I guess it's got to be Ben, Dr. Ben Gideon, right?
I mean,
Well,
I mean,
I would argue
he
against that.
did he did save the baby, right? That was his promise. I mean, I guess
He did
it
keep the
took
promise.
a long road to get there, but
did he actually do anything though? It's hard to tell because nobody really knows exactly what happened, right? They took her appendix out,
right.
and then they gave her some heparin, but that's just like a blood thinner, isn't it? It's not a big deal.
It sounds to me like
And then-
Gideon actually let his friendship get in the way of treating her expeditiously. Expediently. Expediently? What is the word I'm searching for?
I think you're right. I think
Okay.
expeditiously. Yeah.
But it seems like that Lekowitz character that they kept kicking out of the room and stuff seemed to actually be the only one doctoring.
Yeah, well, which one did the actual surgery? Because taking a burst appendix with a baby and not killing her, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, the surgeon, the British surgeon,
The Hungarian,
The
British
Jamaican surgeon.
the unnamed surgeon really wanted to finish what she started.
I think that feels good to me. I feel like it's a great summation of how whatever we put together this week, that the British surgeon who did whatever she did is the most valuable doctor.
Okay, congratulations, British, Jamaican, French, and Hungarian surgeon. Coming up next.
Already famous cause you've been on TV, getting a paycheck. Or the first entry on your IMDb. Way to go, but you're the best guest actor. You are the best guest actor. You are the best guest actor on the episode.
I gotta say, I'm disappointed. I didn't see commitment. I didn't see. We gotta rehearse it a little bit.
My choreo?
Yeah. Where was the piano? Where was the running?
I did the piano.
She did it.
I didn't do the running so much. I did
You
the piano
do the running.
and I did the drum.
The running is you know what? Let's do this. Let's get this right.
Already famous cause you've been on TV, getting a paycheck. Or the first entry on your IMDb. Way to go, but you're the best guest actor. You are the best guest actor. You are the best guest actor on the episode.
There we go. That's better.
Okay.
Very, very good. Okay. Best guest actor. Judging the acting from this episode is going to be really quite something. So
luckily, we did set the precedent weeks ago, Jen, that we can, since Cameron is specifically a guest actor on this show, she can win. And
yes.
I think context clues tell me it's our only chance.
She wins.
Yes.
Yeah, she brought the tears as she always does, the emotion, the drama.
She was quite pale this episode. A lot of description of her being very
pale. Lots of pale. Yeah.
And now I hear where you're going, and I think it's fair. And I think Eleanor, in my own head, in my imagination, was stunning in this episode.
Yeah.
But in my imagination, I thought Jimmy actually really crushed it because, his desperation, his searching for the doctor, the return of dumb Jimmy, where he doesn't know the name of the doctor because that apparently is just because we wanted to have a dumb Bible joke. So I thought that Michael Badalucco really brought it this week.
Yeah.
He hung out with the plucky assistant. He made a blanket out of his jacket. I mean, it's hard to argue against that. Okay, so we have a splits on the best guest actor. Congratulations, Cameron Manheim and Michael Badalucco in our own imaginations.
You guys take this one because I didn't safety pee.
Oh boy.
Okay.
What are we on? Tom Brady?
We're on no. Mike is urinating. Hope he doesn't pass out holding his own dick. That'd be a
Oh God, yeah, I should. I've got the door closed. I should listen.
Go check on it.
Oh my
All right.
God.
All right, Jen, we got this. It's time for
You killed your podiatrist, blew the case, but you let a single tear roll down
There
your
it is.
face. You're the best actor on the show. Wow.
All right, Jen, who do you got? Best actor in your own head. Who gave the greatest performance in your imagination in this imaginary episode we just did?
I feel like the plucky receptionist, although that should have been guest actor, right?
Well, we don't know.
Can it be anybody?
Plucky receptionist might be a regular character for all we know, because it's
She could be, right?
It's all imaginary. So she
true.
might be a regular character on the show. We would try to find out.
I really liked her Southern accent. I really thought she was really plucky.
Yeah. No, I thought it was an interesting choice to gain a Southern accent halfway through the episode.
Yeah, I mean that's she must be trained. She must be. She must have gone to Yale School of Acting or something. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, no, truly. Oh, so you didn't pass out with your dick in your hand?
Not this time.
I didn't hear any loud bangs. So
okay, very good. So Jen and I have voted for the plucky receptionist with the migratory accent for best actor. So
I like that because it's going to make you look her up on IMDb, but I'm going to go with Dr. Ben Gideon, who I think this series was robbed from him.
You mean Andre Braugher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we've got a splitsy again. Congratulations, Andre Brower and plucky receptionist with a migratory accent. Now it's time for
the Tom Brady Award for being Tom Brady.
Oh boy. This last week's Tom Brady Award, which was Lara Flynn Brady, showing up right here. And this
Looking
week,
good.
The winner of the Tom Brady Award for being Tom Brady is I'm still waiting for my apology, Keith, Tom Brady.
Never gonna happen. Okay, congratulations. Still waiting for my apology, Keith, Tom Brady, as the winner of the Tom Brady Award for being Tom Brady, which means there's only one more thing to do, and that is...
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to announce how many spare tires this episode gets.
Well, you know, judging from... Now, I'm going to try to be as serious as I can about this. Judging from the actual summation that we received, which was really well written comedically. In fact, I'm going to link to the actual... I believe it still exists on the internet. I'm going to link to it because it's actually...
And thank you again, Jorge, for finding it.
Yes, it's much funnier than we made it. No offense to our guest who was excellent.
That's
I just
true of
really,
kind of everything.
Yeah. It seemed like it was a lot of yawn. It was a lot of yawn and a lot of kind of... She wrote the summation with a lot of incredulity, which leads me to believe it wasn't a strong episode of television, and as far as the crossover event goes, pretty worthless. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Jorge had very similar things to say, correct?
I think he did, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and give it 6 spare tires based on not a lot.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I mean, as I was saying before, medical dramas are tough because they're kind of like legal dramas too, because you have the case itself, be a medical case or a legal case. How interesting is that? And in this case, it wasn't really that interesting. I mean, having your appendix burst, yeah, that's scary. There's a baby involved. Sure, that's interesting, but not interesting enough to carry an entire episode of television. Then you have the characters. How interesting are the characters? And, you know, we know and love our characters and we find them interesting. But even within the context of this episode, was anything that Jimmy or Eleanor did unique to the character or interesting? Do they have a point of view that was more than the generic point of view of mother with child and mother with child's friend? And the main characters of the show, obviously from what we were working with, I didn't really get any characterization at all. They were just sort of generic doctors discussing a case. I will insert that real quick. Sorry. Because I really briefed over what I was trying. I will insert that there is a hint of sort of a moral lesson here that the doctor, he let his friendship with a patient, which is why you probably usually aren't treated by friends who are... Right. Yeah, you're not supposed to. That's
kind of cloud his judgment. And I think that is, at least a character beat for Ben Gideon on the series as a whole. But just to your point, to just point this out, regardless of how well it was acted or the drama, when the stakes rest on a character who exists in a different universe, they're predicated on potentially her losing her life or the baby, and that's not going to happen on another show. So they're right. It kind of cuts it off at the balls.
Well, and I think what you said there about the character beat of having his judgment compromised by the friendship. Okay. That's a beat we've seen on every medical show in all of space and time. And we've done that. And again, we're basing this on a recap. So what the hell do we know? So I mean, completely wrong, but all right, so how did it change his judgment? What actually happened differently as a result of that? And because he didn't make a mistake that I'm aware of. He didn't not do something that he should have. He didn't do something he shouldn't have. Nothing really happened, both from the character side or from the medical side. And so, at the end of the day, I'm not sure why we spent an hour doing that.
Well, that could be said for quite a few things.
That is really true. So if this is my pilot for Gideon's Crossing, I don't know why I watch episode 2. So I'm going to give it 4.5 spare tires. Now it's time. Jen, what do you got? Give us some tires.
Oh boy. Yeah, I agree with you both. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I would watch another episode of this after this. It seems like there was a lot of dramatic moments, ups and downs, seizures, we're worried. But like Mike said, we know everything's going to be okay. And that she's probably not going to have the baby on another show. But I wish I could see it. I wish I could see it. See, the acting is going to be good. I actually had to Google him, Gideon, because I didn't know. I didn't know who he was, but of course he's always amazing in everything. I recognize him right away. But anyway, so the acting is going to be good. I'm going to go with
very good point.
5.25.
5.25. Okay. Yeah, no, and I think that's a really good point, Jen, that the third element that can make a show good is the performances.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the performances were dynamite in this. And that was something, it was I don't think I necessarily replicated the Emmy-worthy performance, but so perhaps if we were able to find that VHS under somebody's mother's bed,
we'll give it a better shake.
That. We'll give it a better shake. Okay, right. Well, there's only 2 things left to do. It's time to reveal the Easter egg.
Oh, the Easter egg.
Remember we do that now?
Yeah, I just got to get back to the 2-shot because Lord knows
where
it is. And here it is.
Yeah.
My guess, Keith, is that we can't find the episode, and thus we've got an Internet 404. Webpage does not exist.
There it is. I knew you would know the internet code. Okay, guys, we have somehow stumbled our way through one last episode of a TV show we didn't have. So if you would like to email us and complain about the nonsense that was, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Out of Practice Podcast. Yeah, we're not getting paid. You can email us at outofpracticepodcast@gmail.com. You can check out our blog, outofpracticepodcast.blogspot.com. This Out of Practice, you can join, do us a big favor and join the jury. Leave us a rating or review about an episode that's not this one on Apple Podcasts or any other service of your choice. This episode of the Out of Practice, perhaps against their will, is brought to you by generous donations from Leanne Wrights, Cloudlover69, Jorge Navoa, and Jennifer Masanova.
Do not give us any money. We don't deserve it. I'm not pitching for money during this episode. Next week, I'll be back to it. I'm not even putting it in the show notes. No, that's fun. You can always give us a donation if you've got a few cents to share. It does help us pay for our Hulu subscription and, on occasion, inviting a guest onto the show. We do have other things pushed up in the works. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Happy Inauguration Day. And whatever you do, if I have a seizure, forget your smelling salts. Just shoot me with some laser sounds.
Laser sounds?
Laser sounds.
Yeah!
Woo!
What the hell was that?
Oh my God.